Hello and welcome to this year's Wine, Women, and Chocolate. I'm your host, Val Lego from 13 on Your Side. This year's event is a hybrid event. It's both virtual and in person. And while we're here virtually, the in-person guests are upstairs at the High Five in Grand Rapids enjoying the event as well. I'm going to be walking you through the entire evening, including what's in your boxes. We are going to be having some wonderful tastings, and I'm also going to be highlighting the silent auction items. In addition, of course, you're going to be learning much more about the Women's Resource Center and all of the wonderful work they do in our community. So I would like to announce our champagne toast, as we have every year to kick off the event. Eastbrook Home with our champagne toast.
Good evening. I'm Josh McGraw with Eastbrook Homes. We just thank you for being here with us this evening with the Women's Resource Center to raise some funds for this worthy cause. We just thank you and appreciate your ability to do what you can, whatever that might be. We just want to be a part and to help them to bring some good life and spirits into those that are in need. We just hope that you have an awesome evening, and cheers to you.
It is time now for one of my favorite parts of Wine, Women, and Chocolate, the tasting. And we are joined tonight by our very special guest, coming to us from Burgundy, France, George Walker, the sommelier extraordinaire.
Bonjour, merci beaucoup. Tenez-vous, je m'appelle George. Again, thank you so much. My name is George Walker. I am in Burgundy, France, and it is amazing to be here with you all again. I'm so excited. This is going to be really, really fun.
Always great to spend time with you, George, and I love the fact that you enjoy supporting this so much. So let's get right to the tastings and what we've got on board our very first candidate.
Yes, of course. So first, we are actually going to taste our McBride Sisters Rosé. This is one of my favorite rosés. The reason why I love this so much is because it's honestly just an incredible story. These are two sisters who met from, honestly, it's a crazy story because one sister, they grew up separately. One sister grew up in California, and then another sister actually grew up in New Zealand. And it wasn't until they further into their life that they ended up finding each other, and actually started to. They found out that they both had a passion for wine and were already in the wine industry. So they came together and they made a project as one. So it's an incredible story, but an even better wine. So we've decided to pair this rosé with the orange bonbon, and the reason why I decided to do this pairing is because honestly, this rosé is tons of like one. You can get like tons of like tropical notes as well, but it has really, really nice high acid. So first, what I like to do when tasting wine is I love to be able to smell the wine. You want to be able to get it on your nose. And kind of really get those aromas, really kind of swirl it around your glass, and then really be able to kind of get the aromas that you have there. Next, what you want to do is you want to taste it, of course, which is the best part. We all love that. Really get it on your palate. And what I get on this is tons of like acidity, really fresh, really bright. And it pairs perfectly. And the next thing that you want to do is you want to take a bite into that chocolate and get that chocolate on your palate as well. And then once you've done that, take another sip and then just kind of completes it, honestly. That's what a perfect pairing does. It's a match that's honestly just made in heaven.
And George, so what is that flavor profile when you have both of them in your mouth? What is it that really, like, from front to back? Every time it starts in the front of the mouth, but it really does become different as it goes through.
Exactly. What the wine does is it enhances those really nice, beautiful orange flavors that are within the chocolate bonbon. But then also the chocolate bonbon really brings out those kind of like tropical notes that I was talking about in the rosé before. So it's a match that is, I think, is perfect, honestly. Not a lot of people pair wine with chocolate, or at least rosé with chocolate. And I think that this is the perfect one to pair just because you're able to kind of get this balance that really works. I highly suggest that people start to pair more chocolate with wine, and specifically with rosé. The next tasting is probably my favorite, honestly. I love Chianti. I was fortunate enough to have gone to Chianti actually right before um, uh, the world shut down last year, actually. But I was in Tuscany, and Tuscany is where Chianti is home. So it's mostly all, honestly, Sangiovese, which is the grape that comes from that region. Sangiovese is of course a red skin grape, but the cool thing about Sangiovese, and particularly this Chianti that we have in our glass right now, is that it's not overwhelmingly abrasive, if you will. Chianti is such a beautiful region, and yields for such an amazing wine because you have acid that's within the red wine that a lot of other red wines don't typically have. And the reason why acid is so important is because it acts as like kind of like the salt to your food, if you will. Think of like peanut butter and jelly, right? Why does peanut butter and jelly work? It's because of the you have the thick peanut butter, but then you also have the jelly, which has acid. So it makes for something that is a perfect match. And that's why Chianti is so amazing. So what we want to do again with this one is we want to start with our nose. You want to be able to smell it and really get what you get from the aromas, honestly. With this one, I get tons of violet. I get tons of cocoa. And next, what we want to do, of course, is the best part. Let's taste it. On the palate, I get really nice richness. I get like back notes. I get tons of like tobacco, and then I get a little bit of cocoa as well. So after we're done tasting the wine. Let's bite into that bonbon, the raspberry bonbon at that, and really get that on your palate. Really kind of get that at like the roof of your mouth, and then take a swig of that Chianti. It's honestly one of the best pairings that I think I've ever had, just because raspberry, you get tons of like fruity notes in the Chianti, but you have this like rich tannin in the Chianti that kind of cuts through that chocolate, and really kind of makes for honestly the best pairing.
And of course, we can't forget our beer lovers, George. We've got great
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I love Brew Vivant. Brew Vivant will always have a special place in my heart. When I was living in Grand Rapids, I actually lived right next door to Brew Vivant. And I also worked right next to Brew Vivant over at Grove. So we would oftentimes head over to the brewery and grab, a farmhouse ale, which is easily one of my favorite beers that they make. And it's very fitting because it's a French style ale, honestly, which is where I'm at right now. Super clean, super vibrant, tons of notes of like lemon, even a little bit more citrus notes like apricot. So this is honestly a perfect pairing with the sugar cookie. Honestly, it's the cookie isn't necessarily going to overpower the ale because the ale isn't sweet, but you still get those tropical notes, and you're still you're able to get those really vibrant aromas on the nose. So I think. Personally, I think it's the perfect pairing with this ale. I wish that I was there with you all now, so that I could be cheersing with you. But easily, one of my favorite pairings, one of my favorite breweries, and of course, one of my favorite cities in the world. Always have love for GR and Grand Rapids.
Hi, my name is Tony Duke. I am currently working at Valley City Linen. I got connected with the Women Resource Center by Julie Shears because COVID came out of nowhere. It came and infected everybody's lives. When they started saying mask and hand sanitizer, I couldn't go to the store and buy any of that stuff. I called Julie Shears up and was like, kind of need some help over here. And she connected me, well, come down here to Women Resource Center and we will get you the things that you need. And they did. I don't just get things from Women Resource Center. I'm able to just have a conversation with her and be like, okay, this is what's going on in my life right now. And she's able to listen and coach me on, okay, maybe you should try this, maybe you should try that. Most of all that I love by Women Resource Center is that you guys listen. You listen to what our needs are. You listen to, it's a pandemic out here and I'm struggling and rent's not being paid. We're in the middle of a pandemic and the whole world has come to a stop for us and the bills did not. They kept coming and I needed help with that. And Women Resource Center was right there to guide me and help me along the way.
You know, it's women like Tony that really bring home the message of what the Women's Resource Center does for women in our community. And I am joined now by the Women's Resource Center CEO, Sandra Gaddy. And I want to thank you so much for joining us, putting on this great event. You know, every year women come out to support women. And I think that's one of the most amazing things that are happening. I do want to acknowledge our virtual audience. I hope you enjoyed the tasting with George. He's a great guy. He brings a lot of fun. When we're not done with him yet, as we mentioned. Be sure to continue enjoying your beer and wine and the goodies that you have in your bag as we can have a little conversation here. We're going to be talking about your passion for the Women's Resource Center. So tell me, what does this night mean for you?
Oh, man, just to be able to have everyone attend virtually or in person, it just means a lot. We hit our capacity for our in-person event, and we sold more tickets for our virtual than we expected. So thank you so much to everyone for being here virtually. I had an opportunity to talk to a few people, and just the being able to enjoy and take part of in the event, but also being able to be there present with their toddlers or family members, pregnant and expecting moms. And so thank you so much, everyone, for being here. So it's really, really exciting because we're really doing it for the women that we serve who come to us from all walks of life and who've really been impacted through this pandemic.
It's been an interesting year. Women's Resource Center has had to pivot in the ways that they help women. And so I would like you to just update us with what happened over the last year.
So we've served so many women. We've had a transition where we're normally doing classes and helping walk along women with mentorship and coaching to really helping women transition with emergency needs from food, transportation, to financial assistance, many housing needs. And also, we've also received funding to provide women childcare vouchers, which is really, really exciting for me. I have 3 kids, adult children now, and I know the impact of costly childcare. And so to be able to help support women with those first couple of weeks or first month of childcare is a huge opportunity for us at the Women's Resource Center. And so if you know women out there who do need that support, please do let them know that they can come to Women's Resource Center to get that need taken care of. Something else we're extremely excited about is our expansion of our New Beginnings program. Earlier this spring, we received funding from the Michigan Justice Fund and allowing us to scale our program that we have at Kent County Jail into Muskegon and Ottawa counties.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's incredible. So we're super excited about that. We'll be hiring team members specifically from those communities, serving those communities and serving the needs of the women in the jails there at Ottawa and Muskegon County. And we are thrilled to be working alongside the sheriffs and their teams there to support these women and to support this need that has never been offered in one of the communities. So
I think the big thing is that you're hiring women within those communities. They know the resources that are there. They know the hurdles that these women have. And that is so important to be reaching out within your own community and helping. And one of the other things through Tony's video was, the coaches, so important. And, it's part of the mission of the Women's Resource Center to make sure that each woman has a coach to guide her along, whatever her journey might be.
Whether it's a coach, which is one of our team members, or a woman mentoring from our Women Mentoring Women program, it is critically important that women have someone to walk alongside them. And I think if we think for both of us, we've had mentors that have supported us along the way, and how critically they have been to our work-life journey and sometimes our personal journey as well.
And so what's next in the big hurdle? I know the expansion of the New Beginnings is huge, but what's your vision for the future and the mission of the Women's Resource Center?
Our vision is to be able to assist women not only in traditional workplace settings, but also continue to support women who have the desire to be in the trades, or who have never even thought about trades for themselves. Is such a huge opportunity for women. And we are so excited that we've had a number of women that have gone through trade programs. We've shared that in some of our newsletters, who've become CNC operators, who've gone through the Metallica program and done welding and things like that. Women are stronger than they think they are, and these are opportunities that are great paying jobs that women should take the opportunity of and mirror them for their daughters as well.
The last time that we had at the in-person event, we featured women who had gone through the Metallica program, and they were so excited to be able to start that career as welders. The trades, more and more in demand every year, especially now, and offering that opportunity for them is huge.
Absolutely. We're excited about that. And just something else that we've been able to partner with Representative David LeGrand and his team. We were partnering in the expungement fair, and that is critically important. We've had women who've had records expunged, and to be able to be one of the partners of several taking part in that this past August, and we'll have more to come. It's just huge for us. And our team is excited about helping people who've paid their debt to society move on to that next chapter and next phase in their life.
Well, we are so excited to have something like the Women's Resource Center right here in our community, helping women along this important journey to get them back into our community, back on their feet. So many wonderful people that you have working for you. Of course, we've got a virtual audience. Anything that you'd like to say before you head back upstairs to the in-person event?
Yes. So there is opportunities. We have a great raffle. I'm sure you guys saw the Vespa and the 2 wine towers that we have. So raffle tickets will be open, and as well as the silent auction. We have a wonderful items in our silent auction. We always have wonderful items, and so thankful for all of our donors and sponsors who supported that. But there's also other ways that partners can give, and they can give through our monthly giving program, through our Empower monthly giving program, to help empower women to continue to move forward in their life. And again, we serve women from all walks of life. So we so thankful for all the support that we've got for this event.
All right. Well, thank you, Sandra. Sandra, I'll let you get back upstairs and enjoy the rest. And I'm really just so thankful of the fact that we can continue to have these events virtually and in person to support the Women's Resource Center. And so Sandra mentioned a little bit about some of the auction items. I'm just going to remind you of some of the ones that we have, and I hope that you're checking them out online because there are plenty of them for you to bid on. The prizes like Dave Matthews Band tickets, or how about the private yacht experience, which is coming back for a second year in a row. Wine tasting at GR Noir. Several themed gift baskets. I had a chance to look at them earlier. I don't know if you maybe saw it through the Facebook Live, and really cute, really great options. Would make wonderful gifts for anybody who might be having a baby or somebody who's really into soaps and pampering themselves. And then many, many, many more. Of course, Sandra did mention the Vespa. It's the 2018 Vespa Sprint 150. Or you could have a chance to also win one of 2 of our amazing wine tours of 20 bottles each wine towers of 20 bottles each. Those are valued at over $300 per wine. And then you can also just head over to the website for many, many more things that you can bid on. I love those glasses that you're looking at right now, because they are iridescent. They're really pretty in person. They look pretty in the picture. They're even prettier in person. One of the other things is, we want you to have some fun at home. So continue to enjoy your tastings at home, but we also want to see what you're doing. So be sure to take a pic, of whomever you're with or whatever you're eating and drinking, and post it to some of the hashtags that are listed in your program that came in your box, because we really want to share those with you. And don't forget, George is coming back. So if you've got questions of anything that you want to ask, be sure to put them in the chat so that we can get those answered. And speaking of George, he's on the line right now.
Hey.
There you are. Hi, George.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I am absolutely amazing. It's so great to see you again. It's amazing to see everyone here. I love the work that the Women's Resource Center is doing, and I'm so honored to be here talking with you now.
Well, I loved the pictures of you in Tuscany and all of your adventures. It really just elevates it to the
Yes.
next level. It gives us a little something to look forward to. I love the excitement
Right.
that you bring. And
Oh my
so,
goodness.
George, we've got some great things going on, and I know that we do have
Yes.
some people that are giving us some questions for things that they have going on, and more things that they'd like to know. But tell me a little bit more about the Farmhand and what you
Yeah.
love about this particular beer.
One of the biggest things, biggest reasons why I love Farmhand, honestly, is it's to be very quite frank, it's super crushable. Honestly, it's really easy to drink. It's really light. It's super clean. It's not necessarily heavy, but it's perfect for an autumn day like this, where it still has some body, but it's still really clean and still really rich. So you don't really feel it kind of warms you up inside, honestly. Easily one of my favorite beers that Group of Wine brews.
All right, so we've got our first question, George. What
Nice.
pairs with bratwurst?
Ooh, bratwurst. Okay, so honestly, that's pretty easy. Bratwurst is, of course, German. The Germans do Riesling the absolute best. And also, they eat a lot of sausage in the Alsace region of France. So Alsace, and so you think of it this way. So you have Alsace, and then you have Mosel. Alsace is, of course, in France, and then Mosel is also is in Germany. What divides Alsace and Mosel are the Alps. But what they do best is Riesling, and they eat a lot of sausage in both of those regions. So I would say that would probably be the best pairing for some brats.
I never
I
get
wish.
tired of hearing your descriptions of everything, George. It's just, it's yummy in itself, I'd have to
Uh,
say.
I wish that I
Here's our
was
next
having a
question.
Riesling
What
in a
pairs
brat.
well with fruit and cheese?
Ooh, fruit and cheese. Honestly, the easiest pairing for that, because there's so many different fruits, there's so many different cheeses. But one wine that can go, or a style of wine that can go with all of it, is champagne. Honestly, champagne goes perfectly with pretty much anything. Honestly, it can go with it's kind of like your all-purpose wine, if you will. And it's never a
And then
bad
we've got
moment
a
to have
next
some
one.
champagne.
What's your favorite Sauvignon Blanc? Now, this is my go-to. I love
Ooh.
Sauvignon Blanc. Everybody always says you have to go for the New Zealand. Is that true? Because I feel like there's some other ones that, I mean, I know New Zealand is a place, but there's some other ones that I kind of like. So what's your thoughts on that?
I honestly, so when I first entered into wine and drinking wine, I was a huge Sauvignon Blanc fan. I kind of lost my passion for it until I moved out to Napa last year, and I had Francois Cotat, which is an amazing classical producer out of the Loire, France. And the reason why I kind of lost my faith in Sauvignon Blanc was because it typically was a little bit too fruity for me. It had too much melon fruits, tropical fruits that I was kind of turned off by. But this Francois Cotat was really savory. It had this solidity. It had really high acid. It was very lean, very clean, almost like a laser, if you will. Really sharp, but at the same time, it still had a little bit of weight. It had some body and some richness that I was really looking for in a Sauvignon Blanc. So if you ever get a chance, definitely check out Francois Cotat, and that's Cotat, or Cotat, if you will, en français.
I love how I can ask you one question and there's so much information in it. I just want to drink it all up, I guess is really the word I want to look for. Hey,
Yes,
so
yes,
you are a really big supporter and a fan of Michigan wines.
of course.
Yeah, you always say, don't knock it just because it's from Michigan. You say there's some good ones. And so we've got a question asking for a recommendation for your favorite local Michigan wine.
I love Michigan wine. Of course, is like I was speaking about before, with Alsace and Mosel, we're actually at the same parallel as those two regions, those two classic regions. So we of course grow amazing Rieslings in Michigan. One of my favorite producers in Michigan is of course El Mabi. They don't typically do a lot of Rieslings, but they are one of the top premier sparkling wine producers in the world, let alone just Michigan itself. So I definitely say check out El Mabi. I love Shady Lane. Shady Lane produces an amazing Cabernet Franc, which is similar to Cabernet, but has a little bit more of a peppery mouth and a peppery palate, if you will. So those two, I would say, are easily two of my favorites. I love Two Lad as well. Two Lads is an amazing producer. They produce an amazing Pinot Gris as well as a Riesling that's really solid as well. So I definitely recommend all three of those.
Well, you are a little ways from Michigan right now. Let's just give everybody a recap as to where you are. And there's also a pretty decent time change.
Yes, yes. So I'm actually back in Burgundy, honestly. So I come back to Napa in about 3 days for a day. Then I'm on the road traveling again. But Burgundy is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend you all come to Burgundy and see this amazing region. It's they're the best at what they do.
Well, we are all living vicariously through you, George, and we're loving every minute of it. All right, I have one last question here. So what do you find better with hors d'oeuvres? We like our cheese and crackers here in Michigan. I love
Right.
cheese and crackers, or veggies and crackers. What would you pair with that, especially if you're going like dairy free? The dairy free cheeses and spreads are really hot right now.
Right, right. I would always lean back towards, champagne. If you're not, and if it's not champagne, it's totally fine if it's cava or cremant. All sparkling wine or all champagne is sparkling wine, but not all sparkling wine is champagne. A champagne has to come from the Champagne region of France, which is actually not too far from where I'm at right now. But you have regions like Penedès, who produces cava, which is sparkling wine. You also have Cremant, which is made in the same style as champagne, but it's technically not champagne. But though that pairs perfectly with things like any sort of hors d'oeuvres, just because the bubbles act as like a scrubbing agent for your palate and really get it ready for that next bite of whatever you're taking. So I definitely recommend Cava, Cremant, or of course my favorite, champagne.
Well, I know we've been concentrating a lot on wines, but let's get to our beer lovers too, because Grand Rapids is
Yes.
Beer City, USA. So, what's your favorite hoppy beer?
My favorite happy beer. I love hazy IPAs, honestly. If we're talking about IPAs here in Michigan or there in Michigan, I love all day IPA. That's always going to be my go-to. I love it. I love Two Hearted as well, honestly. Two Hearted is definitely another one of my favorite Michigan beers. Just because it feels like home anytime that I'm drinking it.
All right, here's our one last question. If Well, okay, I'm getting the signal we might have two more. You
Nice.
got
I
time
love
for
it.
two more?
Yes. Yes, please.
I mean, you've stayed up this late. What's two more, right?
Right.
So if you had to choose between Boone's Farm and Barefoot Wine, which I have to say, Barefoot is kind of sort of my go-to.
Oh man.
What would you choose?
Yeah, I would definitely choose barefoot for sure. For sure, all day. I don't think I've had either. Well, no, I definitely have had barefoot for sure. In my earlier days, I used to drink a lot of barefoot, but Boone's Farm probably not so much. Uh,
Oh, George, that's a good one. Do we have one last question then? Oh, here's the last question. This is from Karen Brush.
yes.
The Chianti that was in our package is really good. So what would you pair with that?
Honestly, any Italian food, honestly, right? But no, I would personally pair something light. This Chianti is really versatile just because of the acid that's in it. As you'll come to know, as you get to know me, I love acid in my wine. But something light like pasta noodles that have been sautéed in olive oil with a little bit of cherry tomato, maybe some basil, some balsamic drizzled over top with a little bit of prosciutto mixed in there. I think that would be absolutely perfect.
I Are we good? We have one more.
Yes, bring them,
What
bring them
is your
on. I love it.
favorite?
I
Yeah, we did
love
the
it.
hoppy beer. Oh, what pairs well with pizza? What would you drink with pizza?
Oh, I mean, honestly, any Sangiovese. So Sangiovese is, of course, the grape that's grown with Chianti. That is probably one of the best pairings that you can probably do. Cabernet Franc, of course, as well, is a really good pairing for pizza, just because of the peppery notes that are within the Cabernet Franc. So if you're able to get your hands on some Shady Lane Cab Franc and a nice slice of some pepperoni
I so
pizza, it'd
here's
be perfect.
I got one additional. Would beer or wine with pizza?
Ooh, I drink a lot of wine, so I want to say beer, because when I go home, it's always nice to crack open a cold one, for sure. Most actually, honestly, this is a fact. Most wine drinkers drink a lot more beer than you think. A lot
Oh,
more beer.
George, it's been so great listening to
Oh
you and
my
hearing.
gosh,
Well, what do we have?
thank you so much.
Oh, um,
Yes, more questions. I am so down. I love it.
oh, there are people talking to you. Can you see it in the chat?
Oh,
Let's
yes.
see.
Hi. Hello. Hello. How are you all? Thank you so much, Rachel. It's good to see you as
Rachel says,
well.
George, good to see you again.
Yes, you
Thanks,
too.
Rachel,
You
for the comment.
too.
I'm so glad for
Bonjour.
everybody who's at
Bonjour.
home listening, George, because we've got our virtual audience, of course, whom we're doing this for. And
Of
they are
course.
just as much part of this event as the in person event that's happening right now. And hey, everybody at
Totally.
home, don't forget to take a pic and send it to us. Rachel says, awesome answer, George. More questions to come. So we've got a lot of people who have been listening in and just like
Yes.
love to hear everything that you have to say. I think
Too
Brian
much
says he
candy.
doesn't believe there's anything too much Chianti.
Uh, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you all
is.
so much for supporting the Women's Resource Center, honestly, because the work that they're doing is so important. It's so vital that we continue to support this organization so that they can help so many people out there.
Well, George, it's been great talking with you. It's been great seeing you again. Thank you for staying
Likewise.
up late. Really appreciate always your support of the Women's Resource
Of
Center and
course.
Wine, Women, and Chocolate, bringing us all kinds of fun information that I know everybody is taking home with them. Or maybe they're at home and they're using it right now as they're enjoying their wine tasting. So
Yes.
can you open the show saying hello in French? Can you say goodbye
Ah,
in French?
of course, of course. So en français, bonne nuit, enchanté. Like I said, have a good night. It was very nice meeting you all and seeing you all again. Take care. Au revoir.
Oh, George, making me swoon. You're making me swoon. All right. Thank you again for joining us, for staying us up late. I really
Take
appreciate it,
care.
George. And so
Of
does
course.
everybody at the Women's Resource Center. And I want to be sure that we mention our sponsors, because here's a look inside at the live event that's happening one floor upstairs. Everybody's still enjoying all of the wine tastings and chocolates. And of course, bidding on all those silent auction items, which you guys at home can do too. I mean, you can go online and you can see what there is, but then you can also, just check out, be sure you bid often. Make sure you make it a bidding war, make it kind of fun. And so I want to look once again and acknowledge some of our sponsors that we have for tonight, because without them, of course, we couldn't do hardly any of our work here. They support not just having the event, but they support the Women's Resource Center and all of the work. You heard Tony's story. We've shared stories in the past of women that have really been able to change their lives around. The expansion wouldn't be happening without support like you at home, being able to do all of this. So I want to highlight just a few of the really great sponsors who've been back year after year. The Cabernet sponsors for tonight are Advanced Packaging, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and Grand Rapids and Metrology. Our sommelier sponsors are Mercantile Bank and Mark and Laura Evans. And our champagne sponsor is Eastbrook Homes. Of course, you heard them give the champagne toast at the top of the show like they do every year. Great sponsors. So if you've not visited Eastbrook Homes, I really encourage you to do so, because they have an amazing, beautiful showroom. It's an experience that you'll really, truly enjoy. So if you want to give them a visit, they've been a great sponsor and a great supporter of the Women's Resource Center. So let's just make sure that you've got everything that I have in my bag that you had in your bag at home. So we had the rosé in a can. We had the farmhand beer, and we have the Chianti, which I know a lot of you said was really, really good. So I'm anxious to try this one myself. And of course, we have our cookies and our chocolates and a quiz. I hope you give your hand at the quiz. We thought this would be a really fun thing for everyone at home to be able to do during the virtual event, and see how many they get back. Of course, answers on the back, and you can test each other out to see what their knowledge is on all of that. And we truly appreciate everything. The silent auction items are going to stay open now till 7:15. And so you still have some time to go through and check things out. Also, you can join the raffles. So we've got the 2 wine towers, and then we've got the Vespa. So make sure you try those out too. The silent auction items, the earrings that are so beautiful up there. There's a lot of really great stuff. Gift baskets, anything that you could imagine that you might want. Please join the silent auction, donate, or as Sandra said, you can also do monthly donations too. If the silent auction item isn't enough for you, maybe you want to give more, and you want to give that to the Women's Resource Center. And so let's take a look at some of the comments that are coming through. And so Karen Brush says, Sandra, you rock. Proud to be affiliated with Women's Resource Center. Karen, thank you so much. Jess says, Sandra and the team do such a great job. Happy to be celebrating with them tonight. Yay, Jess. We're happy to be having you along. And Rachel says, fingers crossed, I win lunch with the sheriff. Ooh, that would be a good lunch with the sheriff, wouldn't I? Wonder what would you ask him, Rachel? What would your topic of conversation be? I want to know those questions. And Danielle says, when in doubt, champagne. Words to live by, George. Exactly. You can have champagne anytime, anywhere for anything that you need it for, right? I totally agree with George. And Samantha says, hi, I'm joining from Grand Rapids. Hi, Samantha. We are so happy to have you tonight. Please remember to take some pics and post them on the Facebook page so that we can see you. Use the hashtag. There's a hashtag in your bag and that way we can just see all of the pictures and really be able to celebrate with you. You're looking, of course, at the live event upstairs, which is doing well, but we really love our virtual our virtual participants as well. Dee Dee is joining from Naples, Florida. Oh, Dee Dee, I'm a little jealous of that. I bet the weather down there is absolutely beautiful. My goodness. Thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. I think having a combination of virtual and also in person really does give the flexibility to join from far away, like Naples, Florida. And of course, we've got Monica. Hi, Monica from Granville. Thank you so much, Monica, for supporting the Women's Resource Center. I love this part of being virtual is that we really do get to be able to interact with all of you at home and see you as we can through your pictures that you're posting. Don't forget that hashtag why I give WRC, also hashtag WWC 2021. You can use both those hashtags or one or the other, but we just want to see pictures of you so that we feel more connected to you and all of the people that are supporting us. Sarah says, joining from Grand Rapids. Hi, Sarah. Thanks so much for your support. And Susan says she's from Grand Rapids too. So thank you, Susan. I appreciate you, all of you, giving us your questions for George and really taking advantage of the virtual event that we have right now. Of course, the live event's still happening upstairs. They still have some things going on up there, but not that you can't still participate as well. As I've said several times with the raffle. Don't forget, it's a really good raffle. I don't know anybody out there want the Vespa? Is there anybody who's bought the raffle tickets for the Vespa or the wine towers? I know those are also really a big one every single year. Lots of people buying raffle tickets for that. Monica says, hi, everyone. I love this event so much. Oh, I'm so glad, Monica. I do too. It has been, not only is it just a fun event to catch up and see people if you're here in person and also be able to participate virtually, but it is a great event to be able to support the women in our community. Peggy says, greetings from Byron Center. Byron Center, you're down in my neck of the woods. Hi, Peggy. Thanks so much for supporting the Women's Resource Center. Truly appreciate all of you chiming in and joining in together. Brian and Char Smith from Comstock Park. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're enjoying your tasting, or maybe it's gone already. Any of you finished up all the beer and the wine? And Tina from Mercantile Bank. Tina, I really want to say thank you so much for the support of Mercantile Bank and the Women's Resource Center. I know that you are one of our sponsors tonight, and truly appreciate all that Mercantile does to continue the mission of the Women's Resource Center. And then we've got Jess hoping for a wine tower. I bet you are, Jess. I know those are super popular. I've done this event now 3 years in a row. Maybe it's 4. I've lost track. And really, that's always the big one. The 2 wine towers. 1 year, they only did 1 year. So then they had to come back and do two towers. So because it was so popular. So I hope you're buying your raffle tickets for that. And when will we have the drawing? I got to look. I think the drawing is at 7:15, so you still have time to buy tickets. And then the silent auction the raffle closes at 7:05, so you've got like 20 minutes to buy your raffle tickets yet. And then the drawing is at 7:15. The silent auction closes at 7:15 as well. So we still have some time in the night to be able to go back, check those silent auction items, make sure that you're still top dog and getting the ones that you want. And it's all going for a good cause. Of course, all of the women that need our help and encouragement. So I'm going to let you guys enjoy your wine, your beer, and everything else that you have in your goodie bag, and peruse some of the silent auction items and consider buying more raffle tickets. I'll join you back in a bit. Hi, Hey, we're back. I hope you guys are still having a great time with us virtually. Live event is still going on. Of course, you can see all the people still there, but we're happy that you're here with us virtually. It's kind of nice, you kick off your shoes, sit back and enjoy it from home. And we love the fact that you're doing that and supporting the Women's Resource Center tonight. So we're going to extend the silent auction until noon tomorrow. So make sure if you've got silent auction items, you can keep checking in later tonight. You can get up first thing in the morning. You can check at 11 a.m., but it closes tomorrow at noon. So you got a little extra time. Tomorrow's payday. Might have a little extra cash. So silent auction is going to close tomorrow at noon. It has been extended. It's very popular. So be sure that you check in often so that you're not losing your spot in that silent auction. All right. We are going to play a little game of trivia. And here are the rules. It's the card that is in your gift bag. And the first, I randomly picked 5 questions. And the person to answer the question, the first person to answer the question correctly, your name will get in a drawing for another gift bag, right? So that we will have 5 people's names by the end of this. All right. First person to type in the answer gets in the drawing for a gift bag. All right. Are we ready to go? Here we go. All right. First question. Which U.S. state consumes the most wine by volume? Answer. Which U.S. state consumes the most wine by volume? The answer, California. Yeah, there you go, Marsha. Awesome. Good job. Okay, question number 2. Approximately how many grapes go into a bottle of wine? Approximately how many grapes go into a bottle of wine? Ready? Approximately how many grapes go into a bottle of wine? And the answer is 600 to 800. Way to go, Sarah. Good job. 600 to 800 grapes. My gosh. I never dreamed it was going to be that many. Okay. Here's the next question. In which country was the corkscrew invented? In which country was the corkscrew invented? In which country was the corkscrew invented? Answer, England. No winners to that one? Really? The first reference to the cork. Tara. There you go, Tara. The first reference to a corkscrew appeared in a museum catalog in 1681. How in the heck did they open the wine prior to that? I have no idea. All right. Who is the patron saint of winemakers? The patron saint of winemakers. Who is the patron saint of winemakers? No winners? No one? Saint Vincent. Sarah, awesome. Okay, last question. Which trees are typically planted close to the vineyards? Which trees are typically planted close to the vineyards? Which trees are typically planted close to the vineyards? 10, 9. All right. The answer, rose trees. No winner. Oak. Oh, rose trees. Winemakers use them as an early warning system for certain types of fungi that can affect the grapevines. All right. So and your winner for the extra gift bag is Sarah Walker. Sarah, you are the winner for the extra gift bag. All right. I want to thank you all again for joining us. I want to thank you for once again, just a few less things before we leave. Silent auction extended till noon tomorrow. Raffle winners, though, happening still tonight, and that will be announced at 7:15. We're going to do a Facebook Live, so be sure to pop in and see who has the winning ticket for that Vespa, which I think is really fun, and the wine towers as well. The 2 wine towers and the Vespa, part of the raffle. 7:15 tonight. We're going to be pulling those, but the silent auction lasts until tomorrow. So that's it for me tonight. Thank you so much for letting me be in your homes. Thank you for supporting the Women's Resource Center. And thank you for all of the time that you've given us tonight. We truly have appreciated it. And that's it from Wine, Women, and Chocolate. Be sure 7:15 Facebook Live will announce those raffle winners. Have a great night, everyone.